As a working mom, growing my own food and cooking mostly from scratch, this week our world turned upside down. With my husband suddenly facing multiple spinal surgery, I leaned into what I knew best. Nourishing seasonal meals, not just to help his body prepare and heal, but to lift his morale with some of his favorites. I started by making chicken and beef broth, then straight onto sourdough bagels that had cold proof overnight. Bagels always hold good memories for us. One of the first dates my husband took me on as newlyweds was to his favorite bagel shop in London, so they'll always have a special place in our story. While shaping these, all I could think was how imperfect they look, but once they came out of the oven, they were absolutely fine. It reminded me of something I really needed that day. Not everything turns out the way we expect, but somehow the outcome ends up better than we imagined. So trust the process. Next up was a chicken and barley soup made with the chicken broth and the meat I had cooked earlier, topped with crunchy croutons from yesterday's sourdough. I packed it all with love and took it to the hospital with me. And as always, he reminded me he never ate soup his whole life until mine. And honestly, that was all the gratification I needed. I saved the bone broth for him to drink every morning. It's full of collagen, protein and minerals, perfect for recovery. And the meat and marrow that just fell off the bones, well, that was saved too, because a few spoonfuls daily with a sprinkle of salt is just pure nourishment. At this point, my kitchen smelled, let's just say, very sheep. So I balanced it out with a pot of citrus, cinnamon and cloves that was gently simmering, followed by a spiced apple cinnamon cake thanks to our never-ending orchard apples. I simmered the apples with cinnamon and brown sugar first, which meant I could pack even more into the cake. And honestly, that's how you get the moistest apple cake in my opinion. The scraps went straight into my apple cider vinegar jar. I'll go into more detail on that in the next episode. And the leftover applesauce was saved for Greek yogurt and berries as a snack, so nothing was wasted. A friend came over that day to lift my spirit, but that evening I still needed something to keep me busy, so I decided to start my homemade kefir journey. Spoiler, it was a disaster. And I'm sharing this for anyone who said, I'd love this life, but I could never. Just remember, Edison tested thousands of ideas before the light bulb worked, and Dyson failed 5,126 times before this invention finally took off. So I moved on to the next best thing with way less chance of failing, planting my spring bulb. The moment my hands touched the soil, my worries melted. Planting for spring is basically planting hope. And then things suddenly lifted. I got the news my husband was being temporarily discharged, so straight back into the kitchen I went, making his favorite restaurant meal, chicken katsu curry. He hasn't ordered it out in years because he genuinely believes I make it better. And honestly, I'll take that win. All the recipes and weekly garden updates are shared on my Substack, a comment recipe, and I'll send you the link to sign up.